Hey guys, thanks for tuning in. This is optibotimus coming at you with another video review. And today we're going to be taking a look at the new TakaraTomy MP-27 of the Cybertron Security Officer, otherwise known as Ironhide. For the package, you can see, much like all their other Masterpiece figures, you got a really nice image here of Ironhide both in his robot and his vehicle mode. You can see that it is an officially licensed figure with that logo. You got Nissan, and he is a Nissan Cherry Venet. Okay, and as you can see, I mean, the package is a little bit bigger than what we're used to. And I only say that because we've gotten so many of these car ones that we kind of started getting used to these smaller packages, but you can see that the size is a little bit different on it, and that's perfect because, you know, Ironhide is a little bit bigger of a character, and the figure represents that as well. But a really nice package, you know, heavy-duty kind of construction here. You got an image of his vehicle mode. The other side, you have an image of the robot mode, Masterpiece. You come around here to the back of the package, no, on the bottom also, you got all the contact information, you got the Nissan logo, and then on the back here, you have a whole bunch of stuff that obviously I cannot read, but you can see how he scales with the other Masterpiece figures, including going in to MP-10's trailer, and then you see all of his accessories. This guy really is loaded with them. And you can see he comes with a couple different guns. They can be mounted in vehicle mode as well. He's got a whole bunch of accessories that can pop out of him, you know, out of his hands, out of his back. Really very cool. And then you can see that something that is pretty new for, you know, Takara is a face swapping. So you have that right there. So overall, I'm really excited about this guy. This is definitely one that I think a lot of collectors were really looking forward to, and for a very long time. So without further ado, let's get this guy out here and see how cool he actually is. Alright guys, so here we have Masterpiece Ironhide opened up and out of his packaging, and this guy really has turned out a lot better than I honestly anticipated. There was a lot of, you know, criticisms about how he looked, and the fandom was going nuts, saying how third-party figures are so much better. This is an example of a third-party figure that did a better job than an official one. I really think that they did a great job with this official guy. I mean, both in robot mode and vehicle mode here, I think that he is pretty darn nice. Now, for his accessories, this whole thing, this is wonderful. I absolutely love what they did with this. If you remember, I'm going to bring it in here for comparison, just get this done right away. Here we have the original G1 toy. Actually, I think that this is a reissue, but you can see basically it is the exact same. And I love how they actually carry things through. Like, for example, you got this window right here that's kind of not an actual window. They did the exact same thing here. You got this black section here on the top. They carried that over here with this gunmetal gray. They actually did, though, put his rear windshield right there. Obviously, they put a lot more detail in terms of, like, the tail lights. You got this nice silver bit right here. I don't see, you know, what's interesting is, well, I guess that's just, you know, maybe like a keyhole right there, but there's no logos on here for Nissan, so I'm kind of curious as to why they didn't do anything like that. I mean, a lot of official products, in terms of vehicle mode, they want their logo on here, and you don't have that, but I mean, overall, very nice. You got the nice, you know, chrome coming through as well. You got an Autobot logo that's actually printed on there. I freaking love, I don't know how well you're going to be able to see this, but the original G1 toy, being part of the Diaclone line, the original intent for these was that they weren't sentient robots. They were machines that were controlled by humans. So that's why, in terms of robot mode, this is like the worst G1 Transformer that you can get. But coming in here, you can see what they did was they gave you, let me see if I can get it, there you go. You can see that they gave you a sticker that you put on there to recreate a face. It's actually on the back of the seat where the little Diaclone figure would go. I love that they did this. They put a very similar face image on the inside here. There's no purpose to that whatsoever. It doesn't do anything, but it just homages that face through the front windshield absolutely beautifully. I mean, you can see it doesn't, like I said, it doesn't do anything, but it's in the shape of that face, which is just absolutely terrific. Now, with this G1 toy, you had to take this section off. You would open this, and like I said, this is the Diaclone aspect of things. This was the little display and weapon thing that, you know, those little humanoid characters would sit on and control. And this, just rotating all this stuff out so that you can see what you basically got. You got this little sled thing here. Opens up just like that. And the only time, honestly, that we ever saw this was with Ratchet, I believe. He had something like this as a repair bay of sorts. But that's what they basically did. Moving this out of the way. All of this is the Ironhide. This is Ironhide in the G1 toy. This obviously isn't. But what they decided to do was give you a little sled here to store all of his weapons. And it's great. I think it's absolutely terrific. You got this little weapon right here, which is a nice homage to kind of this. It also can detach, and you can plug this into his back. So we did see this in the cartoon, but the whole sled thing we didn't get. So going through some of these accessories here, like I said, you have this section right here, which I'll show you how to attach it to his back. You got a little missile that does, get that, you know, come on. Come on. It is a separate piece, so you can remove this missile if you want. You can have it shoot or something, but really nice chrome on here as well. Then he does come with this gun, which, again, is in the shape, I don't have it here, but it would plug in right there. Again, very similar design with the round circle on here, which is terrific. Now, if you wanted to, you don't have to necessarily store it there. You can have it actually plug in to the top section to the actual vehicle mode, and you got the little spring-loaded tab right there, which close off very nicely. You can do the same thing with this, I guess, although, honestly, that's, I don't know, no, that doesn't work. I don't know why I thought of that. Apparently you can only do it with this and his other guns. His other guns can store underneath here. They just tab in. The instructions aren't very clear on where they tab in, but getting this, it's a little bit easier if you wiggle this out, pull this out. They literally just kind of fit in here, and then you push them in, and they kind of lock into place. So you can take these, and these have the square sort of bottom section, so you can plug that in there as well, which again looks really very cool. Getting this one out here just so that you can see all of it. There you go, collapse that. And then if you want to, again, you have the storage section right here for this, and then you got a couple different ones that nobody really uses, so I don't know exactly. They're probably used for Ratchet more than likely. They probably just repaint this, but you can plug these guns right here on the side, and you can have more storage for it. So you do have that. I'm going to set all this stuff off to the side. Now, you do get his thruster pack, which you did see in, like, I think it was, like, the first episode of Transformers, and you got these little flame effects that do plug in on the back. And again, I'll show you how to attach all of this stuff. It's really very easy. So you do have that. You can have that plug in right there. Kind of wish we got something like that for Sideswipe, but you know, whatever. You have his little radar dish. Now, all of these have like specific names, and the instructions go over there and show you that. But this is his little radar bit that attached to his form armor that actually he used when discovering the Dino Bones. And that's what led to the creation of the Dinobots. And again, I'll show that here in just a second. In addition to that, you do get this little cardboard piece, which in robot mode can slide in the front here, kind of acting like a readout display, because many times his chest would have a kind of readout display on there. Then he comes with 3 different hand attachments. And I'm hard-pressed to kind of remember them. I'm going to go by memory. These ones right here, they're just rounded little blaster-looking things. I honestly can't remember where these came from, but he did have a lot of times in the old cartoon where his regular hands would slide up into his body, and then these other ones would come out, and they would have various functions. Now, these, I want to say, were responsible for making cement, or maybe glue or something like that. They're more rectangular shape. You got the little peg here, but that's what these are basically homaging. Like I said, it's either glue or cement, something of that nature. And then he has a both right and left hand that attach right there, and they have like little holes on the fingertips and such. As you can see, I mean, just regular fingers, but he shot out like, I honestly don't remember. I remember what it looked like. It was like lava or something, but you do have those. So all these accessories, a lot of them really are very cool. And you do have this whole sled here, which is terrific. Like I said, I just love that they kind of homage this piece as well. One other last piece of accessory is he does come with an alternate head. We were talking about that with the package section, and that's a new thing that TakaraTomy has been doing. This one is a more open mouth, kind of angry sort of look, which looks really good. But you can come around here to the bottom, you got a little peg that allows you, oh, dropping stuff, that allows you to peg that right in the bottom. So all of these weapons can store on here, and like I said, you got extra sections that I do think will be used for the eventual release of a Ratchet. I do kind of wish, I mean, I shouldn't even complain too much. The fact that they did this, and I mean, you got this section right here. I mean, it's just molded perfectly. I do kind of wish that we got the, little tread things here on the bottom. That would have been a cool little touch. But, a third-party company will probably come along and do that at some point in time. So, putting all these little accessories in his little sled and setting this off to the side. And for some other comparisons, you can see just how nicely he does scale with the rest of the Masterpiece figures. Using Blue Streak here, who was his little flight buddy, you can see that he's a little bit smaller than a Masterpiece car, so you get a general idea of the overall size of him. But you can see, I mean, much taller. I mean, he's a van. Here you have him with Bumblebee, which, again, really good scale here. Definitely happy with how that turned out. And then here's a fellow Peter Cullen character. Here we have him next to MP-10 Optimus Prime. And again, much like all the other figures, Optimus Prime, he scales very nicely with him. He might be a little bit bigger, but I think in general, this does look really very good. I just really like the way that this turned out. You can see some nice variation in the yellow kind of gradients here to a darker orange color, but you got the translucent bluish windshields, the nice chrome on there. He does have plastic tires, which I'm happy about. The rubber tire thing, you guys know I've talked about it many times. It's not something I'm a very big fan of, but vehicle, he even has a little exhaust pipe right there, which is really cool. I'm really very happy with how this guy turned out. I definitely think they did a great job of capturing how he looked in the cartoon as well as the G1 toy. Now to transform him, he's actually pretty simple to do and far easier than any third-party figure's ever been. First, what you want to do, if you haven't taken out the weapons, go ahead and do that right now. Like I said, they store right down there, just take them out. This section here, though, you want to kind of wiggle, loosen up, and fold that up just like that. Then these bits right here, you kind of, again, loosen this up, and then these will swivel up just like so. Get that detached and lift it up just like that. Then you want to take these sections here and rotate these down. Get this out of the way. Or, sorry, rotate that down and then bring that up and lock that into place. So again, you rotate this down like so, spin that around, and then that locks in right there. And then here you want to push these all the way up, kind of angling this, and in the process kind of straightening out what will become his arms. Come around here to the side, you then take these, pull this forward a little bit, and you can take these sections, fold that out like that. Do that on this side as well. Fold that out and come down here to the legs. What you want to do here is take these little tires, the accordion outward first, and then you can push them and they will tuck inside like that. It's easier to do it this way, so make sure you pull it out. There's two different hinges on here, so hinge it outward like so, and then you spin that around just like that. Then take these sections right here, take these side sections, fold these in, and then collapse that in just like so, and that tabs in nicely. So again, you do that on this side, fold this around just like so, kind of lock that into place there. Then these sections will fold down, and then these, you have a little latch right here that this comes down, and then you push that in, and that locks that into place. Do that on this side as well. Put that in just like so. Then here you can detach the legs, and you can even swivel them down if you want to. Rotate here at, then extend these down, and then you rotate them at the knee area. Do that on this side as well. These little pieces right here, these will rotate around, creating the front of his foot. Do that on this side as well. Rotate that around. Then you come around here to the back. You got these sections which lift forward, and these create his little heel spurs. And there you have his legs basically done. Then you take this, detach this a little bit, right up in here. You want to loosen that section up there. Come up so you can see a little bit better. And then you rotate, keep these out, then rotate these around just like that. Just kind of leave them right there for right now. Then you want to take this section, rotate this whole bit down, and this is one of the problems. His face comes off fairly easily, and that's kind of unfortunate. But come up here and then take this section, this bit right here will accordion out, detach this, and let's see, get that unhooked right there. Untab that and then accordion that all the way down. This then rotates down like so. Again, you're folding all this down, and then you bring this, and these windshield pieces go on the inside and overlap here, and then you collapse this entire section in just like so. The head will be right there. The face, it just detaches. This one comes off very easily, like I said, so just push that on there. Then you kind of put the head down, come around here to the top section. You got these little pieces right here, which then fold down and lock into place on the shoulder right there. So again, rotate that down and then push that in just like so. This section here then comes up, and you got two little groove slots right here in here that these two little nubs go into. And kind of just rest there. They just kind of friction in right there. Straighten out these legs. Now this is where some people have complained, because what you're supposed to do is take this, collapse this all the way in like so, and then on the inside here you got this little tab section on the inside of the wheel that rotates in and locks right inside there. Now people have complained about how that looks, because number one, you got this big gap right here, which really doesn't look good. And you got his little skirt pieces here on the side, which people have complained about since we first saw this. They don't like these there. Could they have done something different? Possibly. You know, I mean, this is already rotating, so it's like, I don't know why they couldn't have put that on a swivel there to do something. But what I actually like doing is, instead of actually tabbing that in, angle this. Just like so. So it's kind of going along with this leg. And then you bring this up like that, and it kind of fills in a little. So detach this, it kind of fills in a little bit of that gappiness that was there, and I think just in general it looks a little bit better. You can collapse those in a little bit more, but I think that looks just a little bit better right there, and that's my personal preference, I guess. You know, your mileage may vary, but I think that looks pretty good like so. And then with these arms, what you want to do is come around here. You're going to swivel this out like so, swivel the fist around, bring this section, then take this entire section here, extend this out. You think you're going to want it fully extended, but really you want it to go out like this, and then it goes down, so it doesn't have that full hinge there. But then you take this section, rotate this in, and then you bring this in, and that locks into place. And then you rotate the arm around like so, and then bring it down just like that. So do it again on this side, rotate that out, extend the elbow joint, fold this panel in, and then bring this around, tucking that in just like so. Rotate at the shoulder and then swivel it down, and there you have Ironhide transformed and fiddling with his feet a little bit, but there you have him all transformed and looking absolutely cool in his robot mode. And actually, I forgot to do one step. Take this, and then when at some point in time you got this little piece right underneath here. This has to get rotated out just like so. So I apologize, I forgot that. But that kind of fills in that little bottom section right there. But all in all, I'm really very happy with how this turned out. This guy really does look pretty nice. I will say that this area is probably the weakest looking on him. I think that doing it like this, where you bring these tires up, kind of fills in that gap and makes it look a little bit better. But I do wish that they could have done something. Like, for example, made it where, like, you could have this whole section, like, rotate this up, you know, and maybe tab in, kind of filling that in, because I do wish you could have closed this area right here a little bit more. I mean, it's not bad. I don't think it's as terrible in hand as a lot of people were led to believe when we first started seeing pictures of it. But I definitely do agree that it could be, you know, better looking. And one thing that I think is actually really kind of ingenious is that that back window that was painted, it's right here, so it kind of fills in that gap. If you had a window there, it would kind of look weird. So I think that was actually pretty smart on their part. But the guy looks really very good and definitely gives you an Ironhide feel. One thing that I have noticed is that his ratchet joints up here for his shoulders, it's like they're very, you kind of have to like really push to get it to lock in, because otherwise it doesn't really stay down there very easily. You see, put down, and oh no, never mind. What do I know? But all right, see, all right, detach all that. But in general, I really am happy with it. Now, like I said, he comes with a ton of accessories, and they all can be used very nicely here in his robot mode. This piece right here, which I'll show you, is actually really very cool. Coming up here, what you really have to do is just detach this, and then you take this section, you kind of hold it by this little tab right here, and you just fit it right inside there. And then you close this up just like so, tab that back in, and now you have that recreated kind of screen when he discovered the Dinobots. Now, if you're going to utilize that, you also need to use his little radar thing. So just bringing this up, you got the little hole right here that just pegs in very nicely, and you can get, you know, a radar, and this keeps detaching because this joint right here is really very tight. So you can get that, have him scanning for Dinobots and having it show up here on his chest. I really like that. I think that's cool, and I think that that's something that they'll use with Ratchet as well, but more of as a medical sort of thing. Like they'll have, like, you know, the EKG reading or something like that. So I dig that. I think that's cool. And then you just take this out, grab hold of that little tab. It makes it a little bit easier, or you can just shake it and make it come out. But that's what that little tab here at the top is for. So really cool. But one thing you're seeing is his face does not like staying tabbed on very easily, at least on mine, and that's kind of unfortunate. Now, staying zoomed in, you do have that extra face piece. Get all these little pieces here. You got this little extra face piece that plugs in here to the bottom. So you take this out, and then if it hasn't fallen out, you just literally just take this back section and just kind of push that forward, and then you can take this, and you got a little peg, and then it just tabs in here just like so. Now this one actually stays on a little bit better. It's a little bit tighter of a feel, but you can see that it gives a more angry look, or anguish look. I mean, maybe that's him with the face that he had when Megatron shot him. I don't know. Oh, spoiler alert. I guess I should warn you, because, you know, the movie's old and everybody possibly hasn't seen it yet, I guess. But honestly, I think that that's a better face sculpt for it. I think it's cool that they're including them. They both look really very nice. You got some nice blue paint for the eyes. But one thing that a lot of people have talked about is that, you know, Takara is trying to up their game, because a lot of third-party companies are giving us things that they haven't, and now we're seeing them giving us stuff that third parties have done, you know, being like the interchangeable face. So I think that's really cool that they're doing it. I do appreciate that. So you have those, and then you also do have his backpack right here. You can see you got a little tab right here. You just come around here, and you got the little hole, and literally it just pegs in there perfectly fine like that. Now, I did see some people showing that there's, like, I don't know where it is on here, and I don't have any flight stands, so I would imagine a flight stand would probably be pretty cool with him, you know, being able to fly around like that, but I don't know where you can attach it. Maybe like one of these holes or something is for the flight stand. I don't know, but you don't get one or anything. But I think it's cool that they include, you know, the jetpack here. That's definitely a nice accessory to have as well. He does come with both of his handguns. They just tab in, much like all the other handguns and such that we've gotten in terms of Masterpiece figures before. They got the little slot on the inside of the palm. You just bring this in, kind of wedge that in there, and then you line that tab up. Where is it at? Where are you at, little tab? Come on. There you go. Come on. Go in the hole. Go in the hole. All right, let's try this one. That one didn't work. That's evil. So let's try that. No? Yeah, that doesn't like tabbing in there very well. Oh, because I'm trying to put it in the wrong spot. Ugh, because I'm derpy. Let's see. Why is that? There we go. Get that all the way down, like so. There we go. The actual slide, it's kind of tricky. You got this. I thought I was pushing it in right there, but it's actually all the way in the very back. So pay no attention to me, because I clearly don't know what I'm talking about. There we go. And then just line that up, and then you can have him holding both of his guns like so. And no, he did not have an iconic scene where he was dual pistoling while he was being attacked by Megatron. That was Ratchet, that was an Ironhide. So, get these, they tab in there really good. It's almost like the tabs are almost too long for this. Gosh, there, just gotta wedge that out. That is kind of nerve-wracking a little because you're pushing. Let's see, come on. Yeah, that, and it doesn't slide. There we go. Wow, that's not easy to do. So do be careful when you're doing that. You also do get this gun. Again, I'm not going to tab this in there because it's probably going to make things difficult. How far is that going? Oh, no, that's actually... No, how is that? That's not too bad, but alright, I'll do it anyhow. Then you got that gun right there, which, that looks cool, but again, when it comes down to what kind of look you want for it, it's personal preference. That comes out a whole lot easier than the other ones did. But, so you have all those extra guns. Now, for these little fist sort of things, all you have to do is rotate the hands back and in, and then you have these little tabs right here that the little slot plugs into. So you just put that in there, and now you can have him, you know, putting glue or cement. I honestly don't remember what it is. And that's the same thing with these other hands. You got these little bits right here. These just attach. You got the hole section here on the back. Get that there. And then you just peg that in there. So you can have him shooting little fiery blasts of whatever out of his fingertips. So, again, real nice touch there. And then you got these ones, which again, I have no idea which ones these actually are. Maybe these are just cannons or something. But you do have a lot of different options for hands, which is very cool. And I like how it doesn't actually require you to take the other hand off. That stays connected to the whole body. And then for the last piece here, you have his back cannon that can go on right here. And you can have it, it does articulate at a couple different points right there. So you can have that, you can have him standing there, having it shoot over his head or whatever, maybe rotate that around. And, you know, I mean, that's not how it looked, but you do have that option as well. So lots of accessories with this guy, which really does round things out and make, you know, kind of for a complete figure, because it's Ironhide. And it all works perfectly, and the guy looks great. Now, for some comparisons, here we have Ironhide, obviously. I'm going to come up a little bit, and here you have him next to Bumblebee, Optimus Prime, and Blue Streak. And again, scale-wise, I think this works really very well. Ironhide is one of the bigger, you know, Autobots, and this scales very nicely. He's not as big as Optimus as he should be, but he's clearly bigger than Blue Streak and obviously Bumblebee. So I think they did a really great job at nailing the scale for this. And then for a more recent release of Ironhide, here he is next to the Combiner Wars version. Now obviously this is a deluxe scale, so it's going to be a little bit smaller, but you can kind of see what Ironhide looked like then compared to how he looks like now. And for another kind of here and now sort of look, here he is next to the G1 Ironhide. And again, they put the face. Like I said, this was never meant to be really a transforming sentient robot. This whole section here, this was a seat where you put the Micro Man, and this was like a bit of a view screen for him, and the human controlled the machine, and that's something that they had to change when they obviously made these sentient robots, and that's where the little face thing came in from. But I mean, this is what we had. This is what we had for Ironhide. We would watch the cartoon, and then this is what we would go to play with, and it's like, ew, no, that's really bad. Like I said, Ironhide here was probably the worst representation of a G1 toy compared to the cartoon counterpart that we ever had. This was just horrible. So this is just a huge improvement and much welcomed figure. Now for his articulation, the head is on it's not a ball joint. No, it is actually a ball joint. I'm sorry. That does pivot side to side a little bit. It rotates. It gets a nice range of motion. You got an extra joint right here that lets him look down really far. I don't know why you would want to do that, but you can do it. If you move that little back section a little bit too far, you are going to pop that head off, so be careful with it. The shoulders are on fairly soft ratchet joints, but they don't go, if you leave it into the body, you can see this piece right here goes back, and then it hits this. So it doesn't have a full 360-degree rotation. You can kind of, well, I mean, if you rotate it out and move that out to the side, so it is a little bit limited in terms of the articulation here. So you do have to be aware of that. I mean, you can, like I said, rotate it out and do something. Yeah, YMCA. No, all right. So it is a little bit limited there. It does rotate. You can hear a little bit harder of ratchet joints right there, which are really nice. These bicep swivels are really stiff. I mean, you can hear it. As I'm rotating it, you can hear how stiff that is rubbing down the plastic. So that's where sometimes if you're trying to rotate this around, it will pull this piece out, which is kind of lame, but just hold that and you can move it. You can see the elbows move up 90 degrees. It's not on a double joint, but you get a decent range of motion there. The wrists do rotate all the way around, and then the fingers right here at the main part of the knuckle, those also rotate. You can come around here to the waist. You can see that he's got nice waist rotation. If you move these wheels up, it does get a little bit more in the way when you're doing it, but you can mitigate that some. These little pieces here actually fold forward, so you can move the legs all the way forward, you can move them all the way back. They kind of get hampered by these little side skirt pieces when you're trying to rotate them out, but you can still kind of get a little bit of range of motion. They do rotate at the upper part of the thigh. He's got one joint here at the knee, and then he also rotates at the knee. It's, you know, part of the transformation, I suppose. Then the feet, this is actually kind of cool. They can pivot outward like so you can get nice wide poses with them like that, but it also can flex forward and back a little bit, so you can position them kind of however you really want in terms of leg posability. So I'm really very happy with how that turned out. Really very articulated on this guy. Really fun. I'm really a very big fan of this guy. I think he turned out very well. I know a lot of people don't like that whole side skirt thing, and I can understand it. It's something that does stick out. But I just think in general, he came out looking about as good as we're going to get. And I think that Takara really did a nice job with this. I'm kind of surprised, honestly, that it took this long to get him. I mean, considering Ironhide was such a well-known character in the movies, I'm very surprised that it took this long for us to get a masterpiece equivalent of him. But we have him. Here he is. And I actually really do like him. Now to transform him back, first you want to take these arms, kind of, well, detach that, straighten that out, I'm sorry, bring that like so, bring that like so. Bring these arms forward just like so, and then you rotate them back just like that. This is probably the easiest way to do it so that you don't get confused in the later stages about how you get the arms positioned. Open this panel and then take this section, rotate that out, rotate the fist in like so, and then you want to take this whole section and collapse that downward just like that. Then you bring the fist in and kind of leave it like so. So now you keep that up like so. This part sometimes detaches. So again, on this side, you open this panel, slide the fist down and in, slide this panel out, take this little section, accordion this upward, and then bring this in just like so. And you got the arms in the proper way that will be the easiest way to get him back into his full vehicle configuration. Take this section, you want to detach this like so, just kind of loosen that, bring this out and slide these little hip pieces out like so. Do that on this side as well. Bring that out just like so. Then you can bring this whole section down, and this will push right up in here and lock that into place, and that just is a funny look for him. And then you can take this section, rotate this back and around, and then you have to lift this piece. If you didn't pull these up to lift it up, go ahead and do that now. This whole section accordions out like so, brings this up, get that there, and then you fold this in on itself just like so. And now you have that back section pretty much done. Go ahead and rotate these little skirt panels around to the side like so. Then take these legs, you're going to swivel them back just like that. Rotate at the upper part of the knee area, I guess, collapse it in, rotate this around, collapse that in, then come around here to the back section. Take these little feet, you're going to rotate those around like so, and then collapse the heel up like so. At this point you can bring the two halves together, locking them into place just like so. Kind of angle all that up so it's nice and straight. Take these bits right here, you collapse these in, and then the front section here tabs in. You got a little tab right here that will tab into the front section of the actual van itself. Then you kind of keep these straight, then these will rotate down. You want to detach this section, then spin this around and tuck that all the way in, just like so. Getting that basically right there. You're going to be able to squeeze everything together. So again, you want to detach this, then rotate this down, and this whole section will fold up underneath here, just like so. You can angle that how you want to. And then, oops, actually I should have done this. So take this section, detach this, fold this forward, do that. I forgot to finish the leg, sorry about that. Fold these pieces out, like so, rotate this around, and tab this up along the side. Do that on this side as well. Rotate this, just like so, bring that up, and collapse that. Let's get that right up there, and collapse that just like so. Then bring all this in, and you just basically squeeze all these panels into place, kind of locking the tabs in as you go along. So this will, there we go, right there along the side there. Make sure that's done there, and then you take this, bring that down, and then again, you just kind of squeeze everything and get all these panels lined up so there's no gapping on either side. And see, I missed that section right there. So there we go. Push that down, perfect. And then you take these, rotate these out, and then again, according them in to line them up properly. Do that on this side as well. There we go, like that, and there again. Make sure, give it a nice once over. Make sure you get all the lines all properly aligned and everything. But when you're done, there you have Ironhide back in his vehicle mode. But that's it, guys. Masterpiece Ironhide. Honestly, I'm really very happy with how this guy turned out. Are there a few things that I think that they could have done differently and, dare I say, even better? Absolutely. But for what we have here, I'm really very impressed. In terms of vehicle mode, I mean, this just absolutely looks how Ironhide should look. They nailed this perfectly. I mean, the fact that they were able to, incorporate everything in one figure is quite impressive, considering the G1 toy couldn't even do that. But I also think that it's really very cool for an accessory. They gave us that sled. I mean, that was a great touch, and really comes in handy when you want to, store all of his weapons. And he comes with a heck of a lot. Accessory-wise, this guy might be one of the most impressive in terms of masterpiece figures that we've gotten since probably MP-10. As for his transformation, you can see it. It's actually fairly easy and flows pretty decently. The only part that could get a little bit tricky is the arms. If you don't get those arms properly lined up, before you start folding them in to kind of complete this look, you could have some problems in terms of rotation and clearance issues when you get almost to this part and you haven't gotten those arms lined up properly. Or I should say rotated properly. And then when it comes to robot mode, I do think the biggest knock against this guy would be those side skirts. Now, they don't bother me all that much. But in terms of giving us as good of a representation of Ironhide, in the cartoon, I think they could have done a little bit better. I wish that you could have rotated those side panel or these side panels all the way up to kind of fill in those gaps along the side. I think that would have helped a little bit more. But all in all, I think that they did a great job with them. I mean, Ironhide is a fan favorite character and has been for a very long time. And getting a real true G1 representation has been something that we've wanted forever. That G1 toy was just really very terrible. So all that being said, I really do like the guy and cannot recommend him enough to you. I think he turned out quite nice. And I cannot wait to get Ratchet. That's another one that I'm really looking forward to. So if you guys are interested in picking this figure up, he's available here in the US at Big Bad Toy Store or over in the UK at Kapow Toys. So depending on your location, click on the links down in the video description. Like I said, here in the US, you'll go to BBTS, and in the UK, you'll go to Kapow, where you can check out availability on this guy, as well as the rest of the Takara Masterpiece figures. But beyond that, guys, that's about it. So once again, I want to thank you for tuning in. This has been Optibotimus. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already subscribbled. And until next time, I'll talk to you later.
to the touch, but it's never enough. You got the touch. You got